Thank you so much. This is the first episode of season 3 of Small Biz Spotlight 210, and I'm Lydia Rodriguez. So, if you are new to me, my channel has been dedicated to putting a spotlight to small businesses here in San Antonio and in the surrounding areas. Today, I am in Cibolo, Texas. So, if you would please stay to the end of the video because I do have some really important information to share with all of y'all. So, okay, today, a very special program, very special episode because I want to bring to you what we refer to as the American dream, right? Is home ownership. But there's more to it than just going to the bank and finding a home. A lot more goes into it that even I today am learning. So please get your pen, pencil, and something to write with because you're going to want to really know Louise and Josette, who have top inspectors. Okay, top inspectors that go around and inspecting homes. So this is super important. Family owned business, family run. I love that. Okay, so but let's get into all the introductions. Luis or Josette, whoever wants to go first. Name, family, all of that good stuff.
Sure. So my name is Luis Chavez. I am the head inspector for the company. I was born in Monterrey, Mexico. I moved here when I was younger, and yeah.
Sure.
My name is Josette Chavez, and born and raised here in San Antonio, Texas. Lived here all my life, and my family's also from here as well.
Nice. All right. So, okay. How did y'all even get into this type of work?
Yeah. Okay, so I used to be a teacher. I taught bilingual education, and a friend of mine had a friend that had an inspection company. They were growing. They were looking for inspectors, and he reached out to me. He said, "Hey, if you get your certification, we'll hire you and we'll pay you a good salary, more than I was making teaching."
Teachers don't get paid.
Unfortunately. And so, yeah, just the opportunity to make more money. But it was also a friend that I trusted, and so it took me maybe 5 months, and it cost about $3,000, and I had a brand new career. And so I started with that company, and that's how I got into it. And then later, I left that company. We started a partnership. We got busy during COVID, and we needed someone to answer phones because me and my partner were inspectors. When we started that company, I was the licensed inspector. He was an apprentice, so he would answer phones. But then he got licensed. We got busy. I was like, "Hey, we need someone to answer phones." His wife was a teacher, and I was like, "Hey, we can hire my wife." So hired Josette, and that's how she got into running operations. Long story short, we ended up starting our own company, and now we're 50-50 owners. I'm the inspector, she runs operations.
Fantastic. So is that how you got into this line of work?
Yes, so I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 and a half years. We have 4 beautiful children, and my youngest one was starting pre-K. And so I said, okay, now that all 4 of them are gone during the day, I started pursuing what kind of job I want to have. Obviously something part-time, ideally something that allows me to stay home. And so this opportunity came before me. I'm like, yes, let's do it. I can work from home, get to work with my husband.
Right.
I naturally have a tendency I'm really good with administrational work. I'm good as a leader, very organized. So this was right up my alley.
Yes.
So,
and this kind of work really needs to be well organized.
Exactly.
So, is that how y'all both met, through the first company?
No.
No, we did not meet through our company. So Louis and I actually grew up in the same church. So I've known him since I was about 9 years old. He's a little older than me.
Yeah.
He's 3.5 years older. I know. And so we went to church growing up. Our families knew each other well, but it wasn't until I was about 15 that, I saw him through a different lens. And I was like, okay, this guy's cool. So we started dating then. We dated about 5.5 years because I was young and he was still in college. And then once he finished college, about 5.5 years later. So I got married when I was 21. He was 24. And we've been together since.
How many kids do you have?
We have 4.
4 kids. That's a good number.
It is a good number. And we have 2 girls and 2 boys.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Now, they're not the ages where they can start helping with the business, or do you?
No, not yet.
Not yet, but my 2 girls show a lot of interest in one. Mom, I would love to work home with you and answer phones. And sometimes my work phone rings and they know it's Dad. And so they'll say, "Top inspectors, how can I help you?" They give the intro like if they were answering work calls. And so I appreciate that.
So if any of y'all call and you hear a very young voice, it's the kids.
I know, right?
That is fantastic. I love that. For kids nowadays to show interest in what mom and dad's doing. It makes you feel good, right? That they do that, and hopefully down the line they can inherit the business.
Absolutely. I think we talk about my son, like, if he's going to college, that's great because that's what we want for him. But he can work also as an inspector in our company, and make some good money. So.
At least, maybe to start something in the summer and that ease them into it.
Exactly.
All right. So what do you think was the turning point that made you think, we should start our own business?
It was actually her idea. I've always seen myself as an employee. I was a teacher and I did really well in that. And then when I became an inspector, it was still like, it wasn't all on me. I was just like, I didn't have to look for a job. They just gave me a task. Hey, go inspect this house. I go and I go home. She was like, "Hey, I think you should start your own company." And I was like, I don't know. If, I don't see myself as a boss. I don't see myself as and I was, eventually, I listened. I was like, yeah, you know what? I think we're going to try it. I'm going to try it, right? And so, we tried it. And the good thing about our journey is I didn't go straight into it, because some inspectors go to school and they just try to just start the company right from scratch.
Right in.
Yeah, so I was mentored by a great company, and then I had a partnership, right? And now it's just us, and so we've learned a lot. Made mistakes along the way, but we've learned a lot. And so credit to Josette for pushing me in that direction, and now we have our own company.
So how many years experience would you say that you have?
I have 6 years experience. I started back in 2019. I worked for a company about a year.
Total?
Yeah, in total 6 years. Yeah, that's when I left teaching. I've been doing this about 6 years. We've had our company for about 2.5 years. Just our company, but
I think that's fantastic because it takes a lot of courage to start. That first steps is really hard. That's why, guys, I am so much about supporting small businesses, because just the first step of starting it, you have the concept, right? But then to actually start running it and calling people, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So I applaud y'all for doing that. Absolutely.
If you don't mind me sharing, I think with Louis and I was a good partnership too, in a sense that he knew how to be an inspector well. He built great relationships. After our inspections, we typically allow the clients and agent to come and go over the report with them, and he's really good at the relationship building. And then with me, it was the administrational side that I knew how to handle and how to manage well. And so with that partnership, I think that made the transition of us, having our own business just a little easier because we knew our roles.
Yes, and that was gonna be like my next question. So who is in charge of what? So you're the one that's out in the field, right? And you're the one who does the inspections, and you're at home, be answering the calls, the organization, and all of that. And y'all have that good balance, right? That good equilibrium. That's very important.
Yes.
Not one or the other is more important. Both sides are just as advantageous to be able to work together like that.
Yeah, we always say, I can't do my job without him, and he can't do his job without me. So typically when a client or an agent calls our company, I'm going to be the first person they touch bases with. You know, it's a phone call or a text message. And then I'm able to get all the information about the property. I'm able to explain all our services to them. And then just make a personal connection. Like, hey, how's your day? You know?
Right.
And then after that, I go forward with the scheduling. I look at a schedule. I try to squeeze them in, and get authorization, you know, to have access to property for that time, for that day. And then I send out all our confirmation emails to make sure everyone's on the same page on when we're meeting, where we're meeting, what time we're meeting, who's going to be there, you know. And then that gets sent off. And then now Lewis has access to that information. And then his job is actually the day of the inspection, doing the work. And I don't know if you want to speak a little more into that.
Sure. Yeah, so my job is just inspections. If I ever get a call while I'm on inspection, I forward it to Josette. Because I just want to focus on my job. If I'm at a house, I'm there, you know, I'm present 100%. And I'm only able to do that because she can do what she does. And yeah, she really is good at what she does as far as organizing, as far as communicating, right? And then yeah, as far as inspecting, if I have to replace a tool, if I want to offer a new service, like she's just like, okay, yeah, that's your area of expertise, and then she has her area of expertise, and it yeah.
Wonderful. So when you're out there, when you're out there inspecting, what exactly are you looking for?
So it's pretty thorough. It's foundation, roof, electrical, plumbing, HVAC. Those are like the 5 major components. But that includes everything. I get on the roof, I go in the attic, I go in the kitchen, I run every plumbing, every faucet, bathroom, kitchen, right? I test every single plug, I turn on every single light switch, I open every single window. Like, it takes.
It's intense.
It takes like 3 hours on average is what it takes.
3 hours. Okay.
And that's just the general home inspection. And then we also have additional services that are related to those same systems, but it just gives us a little more information. For example, the foundation, I can look, okay, are there any cracks? Are windows hard to open? Are doors closing on their own? Are there any cracks on the set? But we have a tool where I can digitally measure the foundation, the levels. Then it's like I get elevation readings, and if this house is brand new, painted, but it's, you know, the foundation's off, that tool tells me exactly what the foundation's doing. I have an infrared camera. If there's any plumbing leaks, if there's any electrical wiring that's just overheating, if there's insulation in the walls or ceilings that's missing, infrared will help me catch that. And so we have a sewer camera where I can stick it in the drain and just look, you know, are there any branches? Is there any standing water? Is there any, you know, belly, stuff like that. So there's additional services. Those services we charge extra for those because they're outside of what inspectors call the standard of practice.
Okay.
But if you just get a home inspection, yeah, it's going to cover all the components that I mentioned at the beginning. And then most inspectors will offer additional services.
So you go and you pretty much have a list of everything that you're going to go and check. So you have your certification and you have been working in this field for years.
Yes.
So you know what you're talking about. Now, if any of y'all want to see him like actually doing his job. He has a fantastic Instagram. Y'all have to go check him out. It's Top Inspectors on Instagram, and you're the face on the videos. And I seriously love when you say, wait, somebody should fix it.
Say it for everyone.
Yes.
Somebody should fix it. Yeah.
Who came up with that phrase?
So I started following inspectors when I first became an inspector, and there's a guy out of Houston, I believe, and he would say it's not supposed to do that. Like he would show a faucet and it's leaking, and it's like it's not supposed to do that. Or he'd show a door that's broken. That was his catchphrase. I was like, man, I need to come up with a catchphrase. And the way I came up with that one is we're actually not allowed to work on the houses that we inspect. So like if I go to your house and I say, hey, your window's broken, you're like, oh, can you fix it? I'll give you $100. Like, no, that's a conflict of interest. So we're not allowed to work on the homes. So I'm like, well, somebody should fix that. Like I can't, but somebody should fix that. Which is actually a cool thing about my job is I literally just point out, like, this is wrong, this is broken. And so literally I was like, somebody should fix all this stuff.
Fix it. I don't know who. There it goes. Can you recommend somebody?
Yeah. People will ask us, like, hey, do you know a roofer? Do you know an HVAC guy, a plumber? And yeah, we have all those contacts. We've built relationships with those professionals.
Fantastic.
And we do recommend those professionals because we've seen a lot of hands.
Right. I've gone through that where you say, oh, don't worry, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. Somebody down the street, yeah, he can do it. He knows all about it. And then you're in a worse situation than what you began.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be great to have somebody to at least say, these are professionals. We've seen the reviews and everything, and he's trusted. So that's also fantastic. That's helping another small business, right? That y'all do. So that is fantastic. So, okay, in his videos, guys, he's on a roof.
Yes.
I'm scared of heights, and even with the videos, I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna fall. But I've seen you, in attics, outside, so much important information. Did you even learn on those videos, which I really appreciate, because there are things that, honestly, I didn't even think about, so I have grown-up kids that are like, oh, Mom, I need a house. We need to move. This place is too small. And everybody just picks up their phone, they Google, they Zillow or whatever other place, and they're just looking at pictures, right? You're just scrolling, looking at pictures. But to realize that, you know what, you need to get it inspected, because once you purchase it, it's yours to deal with, whether you have, like you said, a leaky roof or foundation, then it's on you to fix. So it's a lot more than just, the American dream of buying a home. It's a lot of money, so you really need to take care of that big investment. And if you want to make sure that your money is being well spent, right, that your home is valued at what you're paying for, really, and that you're not going to come up with any problems along the way, you should have it inspected. Right. So now it's not just for homes that are already built. Y'all also inspect, like, how does that work? Like, I'm gonna get a builder to build me a home on this size of lot. What is y'all's procedure for that?
Sure. I'll share a little. So typically we do 3-phase inspections, and this is for a newly built home only. So what we'll do, the first phase is going to be right before they pour the foundation. Okay, the concrete to make your foundation. That allows us to go in there and kind of see the plumbing that they've started. I believe it's called the rebarring, the actual metal that holds the cables that hold, the foundation together. And that it's like a second eye, right? They go in there, they have a lot of contractors going in there, but we go in there and make sure it's done properly. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is going to be what we call a pre-drywall inspection. And so that is right before they close your walls. So typically you have insulation, you have all the wiring for your electrical work, the plumbing, all the framework. Typically the roof is done and the windows are installed, but if they're not, that's okay. We just want the home to be bare before they close up the walls. We want to make sure everything's done properly. And then we have phase 3, which we call the final phase. This is the home. The home is in a condition where you're about to move in. You're going to close on the house and move your stuff in. So a lot of times, this is the phase where clients will call us, oh, it's done, come and see. And they didn't have us along the way do the other phases. And so then that's typically when we find issues, like missing insulation. We find leaks in the plumbing, or even just foundational issues, stuff like that. And so we always want to advocate for new home buyers to do each phase of the inspection. Obviously, the first and second phase is going to be significantly cheaper than your final phase because at the end, there's a lot more to inspect.
Right.
But considering those costs, the investment of getting inspection along the way, and then, potentially having problems down the road of living there, I think the investment is worth, the investment.
I wanted to speak to sometimes a lot of times the builder will encourage the owners to only get the final inspection, and I would encourage them to get the foundation and the pre-drywall, because once they pour the foundation, they're not going to change it. I went to a house not too long ago, and brand new house. They didn't get the foundation or the pre-drywall. I only did the final. And the foundation was off 2 inches from the front to the back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we could have caught that at the pre-foundation,
Right.
because I have the same tool that I use to get the elevation readings for the foundation. I put that on the form boards to make sure that the foundation is level before they pour it. We could have avoided that issue. And then there's things that we catch at the pre-drywall that we can catch that once we're at the final, we can't, like Josette mentioned, I can't see behind the walls at a final inspection.
Right.
But I can see the electrical, the plumbing, the HVAC when the house is open. I can see the studs, is anything bowing? Are the supports, is everything properly supported? Because the load comes from the roof down. So everything has to be properly supported all the way down to the footing, or to the slab. And all of these things we can catch on the first 2 phases. But again, a lot of the builders are saying, oh, we'll just get it done at the final. But there's things at the final inspection that cannot be inspected if we don't inspect them at the first 2 phases. Because by then it's all covered up.
Right. Especially the electrical, and that's something that I worry about a lot because that's fire hazard, right? That's something, if you bought a home or you're building a home and the electricity is not put together correctly, and it could just go up in flames overnight, and there you go. So I think your business is so important. And even though y'all are here in Cibolo, y'all still go to San Antonio, any other surrounding areas? How far do y'all go?
Anything within 2 hours. We do San Antonio and surrounding cities, as well as Austin and surrounding cities. So we'll go all the way to Georgetown. We'll go south of Poteet. I think anything within 2 hours we can. I have a Prius.
You save.
Yeah, it's really good on mileage. All my tools fit. Sometimes the customers will say, like, are you gonna get on my roof? And I'm like, yeah, my ladder fits in my Prius. Yeah.
Wow.
I get on 99% of roofs. I will walk the roof. I do have a drum in case my ladder doesn't fit or reach. But I like to walk on the roof. I like to feel it. I like to look with my bare eyes. But the drone camera can't replace your senses.
Right.
And so I do have a drone, but I prefer jumping on the roof.
Now, if we wanted to actually build a home, do y'all also have a list of builders that y'all trust, or that's really up to the
No,
customer?
yeah, that's up to the customer. They only call us when they want to get an inspection.
Mhm. So, all right, guys, for purchasing a home, get it inspected because that's a big purchase. And if you want to build your home, you want it built right and right the first time. And unfortunately, there's some companies that would like to cut some corners, and they are the people, small business, family owned run, that can help you make sure everything's done properly and safely because you don't want like the electrical. I keep coming to that because I'm having issues.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
And then the other, so we do inspect brand new houses. We also inspect anyone that's purchasing a home. And then the other thing we offer is what's called a home health check. So the building codes, electrical, plumbing, those change every 3 years. And so you can hire us to go, if you have a house, let's say you have a house built in the 1990s. You probably haven't had an inspection. So like my parents built a house in 2001.
Yeah.
They got an inspection then, and then 25 years later, like no one has been in the house and said, hey, you should update this or this.
The house I'm in right now
Yeah.
it was built in 1950.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying I'm having issues with mine.
Yeah.
She's showing her age. Poor thing.
Oh.
Let her ride it.
Yeah.
So for old homes like that, y'all can do that.
Yeah, you can hire us. We'll go in and we'll say, hey, these are the things that are not up to code, and you're not required to bring the entire house up to code. But if there's a safety hazard or if there's an upgrade that is recommended, because for example, ventilation, right? In the 50s, they did ventilation a certain way. Now, 75 years later, there's the ventilation that's more efficient, right? It's going to keep your attic cooler, which helps your roof, it helps your HVAC system, it helps, money coming out of your pocket. It is an investment into your home, but it's going to save you money, right? So things like that, we'll recommend upgrades, we'll point out any safety hazards. Any information we give you is just a recommendation. You're not required to make any of those fixes, but at least you know.
Right, because y'all don't do the fixing.
No.
Anyway, so it's just, this and this and this should really be looked at.
Yeah. And for example, we bought our house in 2022. In 2024, we're out of code. So you see our island back there? In 2024, they changed the code for the plugs on the side of the island because a lot of the kids the parents or the kids were putting appliances and they were plugging them in on the side of the island. And with the wire hanging, the kids were pulling the appliances off. They're hot and they're heavy, and they were hurting themselves. And actually, 11 kids died that way.
No way.
So now, if you build a house 2024 and on, it's not going to have the plugs on the side of the island, which some people think are convenient, which we use them a lot. And so they are required to leave a junction box so that you can add it if you would like to add one. But again, right, like people should at least know. If I live in a house from 2023 or older, and I have kids, I should at least know, hey, maybe I shouldn't hang that wire. Or if I'm going to do that, tell my kids, hey, be careful with this wire. But the recommendation is to plug it into the counter plugs where the wire isn't hanging off. So stuff like that, we're trying to educate homeowners on those things.
Yeah, that's why I love your videos because I've learned so much. Even just there's one video, guys, where he's outside and just the proximity from a tree or a shrub to the house. I didn't know that would be an issue for termites. Or even everybody's putting up privacy fences. So how close is it to your home can also transmit, it's easy access for termites. I didn't know that.
Mhm.
That's stuff like that you learn just with your Instagram. I really appreciate those videos, let me tell you. That's come, I'm looking at my house now and I'm like, oh my God. We got a problem, Houston. So, okay. Last thing I want to ask you both is about your social media. So I've talked about your Instagram. How else were we able to get a hold of y'all?
Sure. So not only do we have an Instagram handle, we also, you can find us on Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook is Top Inspectors TX. Or you can call our office if you have any questions about inspections or would like to book an inspection. Our number is 210-528-1071.
All right. So guys, as usual, I'll have the phone number right here on the screen for you. And also, as usual, I will have all your information. I'll have their information down in the description box below so you can get a hold of them. Phone number and
Our website.
the website. You have a website
We
too.
we do.
Oh, y'all should look at their website. They have a beautiful family picture on there. So precious, them and the kids. So a website, and there you have all the information on how to get a hold of you as well. So I'll have all of that. All right. Anything else y'all wanted to add before we?
Yeah, I think so. I used to be a teacher, right? And now I think a lot of the skills that I learned as a teacher now I use in my company. And we're just trying to educate people about their homes, whether it's an existing home and you hire us to do a home health check, or it's a brand new house and you want to know the condition of the home so that you can either negotiate repairs or decide whether you want to buy it or not. Our company motto is just education. That's all. We're not there to tell you, hey, you should buy the house, you shouldn't buy this house, because anything can be fixed. If the house needs a new roof, you can negotiate that, right? And so nothing I find cannot be fixed. And so, but we're just trying to give you as much information so that you can make an informed decision. And so we're just about educating the client, educating even agents if they have questions. It's just information. And when you hire us, we work for you. The report belongs to the client. So we had a situation where a client hired us to do an inspection. They ended up finding out they could not. They wanted to buy it, but they couldn't purchase that home. And they ended up selling the report to the next buyer.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and so the report belongs to the client. And so yeah, we're just about education, educating the client, educating homeowners, and so that's what we strive to do.
That's super important. Thank you for that. Thank you, because yeah, I mean, everybody and anybody would probably think, just look at it, take the tour, and if everybody just looks at the location and the schools around it, the amenities. I have a hard time saying that word. Amenities.
There you go.
But it's more than just that.
Yep.
A lot more. So thank you so much for that. I love those videos. Check it out because somebody should fix that. He'll tell you. Somebody should fix that. All right. So thank you so much to do this with
Thanks for having us.
Yes. All right. So guys, okay. Thank you so much if you're still with me to the end of this video. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you appreciate this type of content, if you are a small business, please give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. Click that little bell so you can get notified every time I'm on. Also, for next episode, I'm going to have my guest Jennifer Rodriguez, who has Biodiagnostic LLC. I was supposed to have her in season 2, but I got sick, so y'all know all the whole thing about that. But I love her stuff also. You can't miss that one because with summer coming, we really need to concentrate on our hydration, boosting energy, and our immunity, which I know I gotta do, and I promised y'all that I would start taking better care of myself. So we'll learn all of that together. Okay, so thank you so much again for being here. Y'all enjoy your Thursday and have a great weekend. And if you are thinking about that American dream of home ownership, please, top inspectors, inspect the home before you buy. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. Love y'all. See y'all. Bye.
Another reason to get your pre-drywall inspection. Alright, that wall looks fine. Let's check it out a little closer. When we get a little closer, the studs are not making proper contact. Plate. See all those gaps? Somebody should fix that.